everyone. Welcome to the Adelaide Cottage podcast. My name is Shauna, and if you're new to the podcast, thank you so much for spending your time with me. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. So this is a podcast mostly about knitting, some sewing, hand dyeing yarn, sometimes a little bit of quilting, all kinds of crafty things. So I'm going to start with knitting. I'm going to talk about a knit along that's going on right now, and then a new one that is super special to me, and I'm hoping that you're all really going to enjoy it. So the first knit along that's going on right now, it started April 1st and it goes through May 31st, so there's still a bit of time left, is the Trailing Ivy Shawl KAL. And you can find it in my Ravelry group, which is called Adelaide Cottage, and you can find me the same way on Instagram and Etsy as well, where I sell my hand-dyed yarn and project bags. So the Trailing Ivy shawl is a really pretty pattern by Alana Dekos, and I did get some knitting done on mine since I finished my test knit, which I'll show you in a little bit. I can't actually show you the finished product because I gave it as a gift yesterday, but I will insert some pictures for you of my test knit. But back to the Trailing Ivy. I want to show you a picture of it. This is what it looks like. Super pretty. I'm knitting it in a DK weight yarn from the Woolen Rabbit. It's the Daddy Steelbucks colorway, and this is how much I have done. So I mentioned before that I'm using two balls of the same yarn, but they're very different different shades of gray, if you will, because it's hand dyed. It's to be expected. So I'm alternating every 2 rows. I'm changing from one ball of yarn to the other, and I'm actually really loving the result. I think that it looks variegated, and it looks like some gray and taupe, which are 2 of my very favorite colors. I am loving this pattern. I'm loving knitting on it. I'm using my Carbons interchangeables in a US size 7, which is 4.5 millimeter. And yeah, pretty soon I'll start splitting this off into the pleats and then be able to knit the vines or ivy. So yeah, it's a very memorizable pattern for right now, and this is one that I'm going to keep. I have been gifting all of my knitting lately, and I really only have one shawl for myself, which one is it? It's the Windswept shawl by Molly of a Homespun House. I knit that when my mom was ill, and I kept that for myself, and that's the only shawl I have, so I keep wearing it over and over again. So I'm going to keep this one. And yeah, that's kind of trying to see if there's anything else in here that I can show you. No, okay. So that's where I am there. So there is a few people have joined, so definitely go onto the Ravelry group and join if you would like. There's a chatter thread and a finished object thread to post your project for a prize. And there's a project bag up for grabs as a prize made from Autumn, who is Coddington on Ravelry and also on Instagram, I believe, who is very sweet to donate. She gave me 2 bags, one for me and one for the KAL winner, and I'm going to let the winner choose which one they would like. So that's exciting. Okay, I'm wondering if I should go on to the other KAL that's starting or show you what I've been working on. I'm going to talk about the KAL right now, I hope that's okay. So Many of you may know already that I am almost 1 year survivor of spinal cord cancer, and it has affected my family so much. Not only my cancer, but my mom had two different types of aggressive cancer in a 2-year period, and the last one took her life very recently. She had ovarian cancer that was very aggressive, stage 4, and she fought it and beat it. And then she was diagnosed with anaplastic thyroid cancer in September of 2015, and that took her life in just 12 days after her diagnosis. So it was very aggressive. The tumor grew so large she couldn't eat or drink or even swallow her own saliva. So it was very, very hard time, and it was hard to watch her suffer like that. But I wanted to do a KAL that a lot of people can connect with. And I'm sure that, well, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that many of you all over the world either know somebody or have been affected personally by cancer. So I wanted to kind of do a KAL that has something to do with that. So what I thought was, you know how there are those cancer awareness ribbons, and there's a different color ribbon for every different type of cancer. I thought that it would be really nice if the KAL was to choose somebody that you know that has or has had a certain type of cancer, look at what color that awareness ribbon is, and knit something for them in that color. And it doesn't have to be completely in that one color, but as long as that color is, I would say, at least 50% of your finished object, then I think it would qualify to enter it for a prize. It's going to be a 6-month KAL, so it's going to run from June 1st through December 1st, and it'll end it kind of right in time for the holiday season because everybody's kind of busy, and then whatever finished objects you have, you can gift to them then, or you can do it before that. So I'm opening this up to crocheters as well, because I think that it's a beautiful craft, and I don't want to disqualify them from joining. So crocheters and knitters are both more than welcome to join. You can use any yarn that you would like in that specified color, but I have dyed up, which is really exciting for me. I've dyed up special colorways for each of the most popular types of cancer in those colorways. So I will show you those. Now, okay, so let me go back a little bit. Like I said, you don't have to you can use any yarn, but if you choose to purchase my yarn, I'm donating 25% of my profit for each skein to the American Cancer Society so that they can do more research and things like that. So I'm going to show you the colorways, and I am also making some project bags that will, there's special fabrics on them for this knit along, so I will also be donating 25% of that sale to the American Cancer Society. But the first one is breast cancer, and that awareness ribbon is pink, and I've named this colorway Love. So all of these are tonal, and there's quite a few undyed areas because I personally really like the way that looks with a little bit of white. It gives it some dimension, I think. So that's Love. The next one is cervical or ovarian cancer, and that ribbon is teal. So this one is called Courage. The next one is brain or spinal cord cancer, which is what I was affected by, and that is gray, and I've named that Hope. The next one is colon cancer, which is dark blue, and I've named that Trust. The next one is lung cancer, which is white, but it's kind of, I don't think anybody wants to knit something with a completely white yarn. So I kind of added some cream to it, and this is called Believe. Pancreatic cancer is purple, and I've named it Dream. Prostate cancer is light blue, and I've named this Strength. And lastly, thyroid cancer is 3 colors. It's teal, pink, and blue, and I've named this Faith. And this is the one that took my mom, so I think I'm going to knit with this. So those are those ones. If there's another type of cancer that you would like a skein of yarn dyed up in, please just contact me on my on Etsy, Adelaide Cottage on Etsy, and let me know, and I will try to dye something up for you. The project bags that I have that I'm going to be making are out of these fabrics. But first I'm going to show you what the project bag will look like. It's one of my drawstring bags, and this is not part of the Stitch for a Cause, but it's just one of them. This is actually for a knitting friend, so I'm hoping that they're not watching. I have to mail out their package. But it has a nice big square boxy bottom and a plain inside. So it will have this natural colored bottom and then a natural colored pull strings. And the fabrics that I chose is this one with all the different colored awareness ribbons, which I thought was really nice. This one is very subtle. It's pink with really tiny pink awareness ribbons, if you want a more subtle look. This one is teal, and it says "Today is Beautiful" with the purple birds. And then this one kind of has a lot of words of encouragement: support, hope, cure, care, survive. It's a really sweet one, I think. So those I'm gonna make in the next couple of days. So let's see, today is Monday. I think Wednesday or Thursday I will have pre-orders up on my Etsy shop for these, for the yarn and the bags, because I have no idea how many people will be interested. So I don't want to dye up a ton of skeins of this yarn and have it just sit there. So I'm going to open up some pre-orders, and I will announce the exact day and time on Instagram. So make sure you're following Adelaide Cottage, and you can click that you want post notifications, so when I post something you'll get notified, so that you can grab a pre-order hopefully. So I thought it would be really nice to do this because we can inspire each other and show each other projects in the thread on Ravelry. I know that when my mom was going through chemotherapy, when we would go for her treatments, she would get very cold. It's just something that happens when you're getting chemotherapy. So it would be really nice to knit or crochet a blanket for that person. A prayer shawl. This is the one that I received when I was going through it. And it's one of my most precious gifts that I got during that time. It's very beautifully made. And my mom held on to this when she was in hospice, dying, and she wouldn't let go of it. It was just something really special. So I love this. This definitely is something that is an option for this knit along. And it's not huge either. It's just perfect for your lap or when you're laying down to kind of snuggle up with. You can make a blanket, which I want to show you one that my friend just gave to me the other day. We met for coffee and lunch, and she crochets, she doesn't knit. And she made me this beautiful blanket. It's an Afghan, really, but I can't open it up completely to show you because it's humongo. That is a word. But it's really, really pretty. And it was so thoughtful of her. She's been working on it for a very long time. So that's an option. My mom also really loved hats when she lost her hair. So a hat is a really good option for a chemotherapy patient. Socks. It just has to be something like a pack of washcloths or something. I don't think an ornament, I think, might be too small. You could definitely do stuffed animals. And like I said, and if it's a man, for instance, who has breast cancer, because that does happen, since that color is pink, if you don't think that they would like pink, you can still participate. Just explain that in your post and let us know. And that's completely fine. But I think for every project that you're making, if you're posting it in the chatter thread or even the finished object thread, just put at the top, for instance, ovarian cancer, teal, just so that everyone can quickly they can quickly look for that color in your project and get some inspiration. So I hope that explained it well. Let me see if there's anything I missed. Yeah, a cardigan, things like that. And then for every purchase too, whether it's one of the skeins of yarn or a project bag for this KAL, everyone will receive a free Hope stitch marker. Just to say thank you for participating and purchasing my items so that we can donate, and hopefully it will help. It will help them eventually find a cure for this ugly, ugly disease. So, yes, back to what I'm knitting on. Thank you so much for listening to all of that. I'm kind of scatterbrained today, I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've done this. But there will be multiple prizes for that KAL. I forgot to mention that. If anyone would like to donate a prize for the KAL, please just contact me on Ravelry or Instagram, or email me at s_morath@yahoo.com. But one that I put together already is this lovely sample tea pack of the Downton Abbey teas. There are 6 different kinds in here. Hopefully you can see the different kinds, but yes. And with that will come these really, really cute tea-themed stitch markers and progress keepers. So, they're gonna fall. Okay, this isn't working, guys. I'm just gonna hold them up for you. So here's a little teacup. There's a rose on the other side. It's just hard to see. There's a little saucer. A teapot. Creamer. Those are all stitch markers, and then this is a progress keeper. A little spoon. So if you are a winner and you're a crocheter, you don't necessarily need stitch markers, I don't think. I can make them all progress keepers for you. And then all of my stitch marker sets come in this cute little tin with the lid, so you can just pop it in your project bag. Okay, moving on. What else do I have? I have a sock. I finished my wildflowers and honeycomb socks. Love, love, love this pattern. And this is by Olivia Villarreal. Okay, so this is a 3x1 twisted rib. And I cast on 64 stitches because I used a US size 0 magic loop using my Addie sock rockets. And then it goes into this beautiful eyelet pattern, which I adore. I am obsessed with eyelets. I love them. And then there's a slip stitch heel that looks like honeycomb. And then a rounded toe. These are humongous. They don't even fit on my sock blocker. So I don't know what I did wrong. I washed and blocked them. So maybe do you think because of the eyelets they grew? But it's too big for my foot. It just like hangs. Maybe I'll have to cast on less stitches for a US size 0. I didn't think I would need to, but apparently I do. So the yarn I used is Bergère de France Gumi 50 in the Imprim Beige colorway. But they're really, really soft and sweet. And I've heard that this yarn stands up really well for washing and drying in the washing machine and the dryer. I can't remember who said that, but they said that they washed and dried them quite a few times, and they're still working. So I need to cast on my second one. I really love these socks, but I don't know if I should knit another big sock, or another sock that's too big for my foot, or have one sock fit and one not. What would you do? That stinks. The other thing that I knit is, I was a test knitter for Mina, who is the lovely podcaster for the Knitting Expat podcast. I was a test knitter for her Budding Bluebells shawl. And I was really, 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 really hoping to finish it and be able to show you before I gave it away. I wanted to keep it because it was so beautiful, but I gave it to my mother-in-law because I said on the last podcast it just screamed her name, and it would be perfect for her trip to Jamaica. So I gave it to her for Mother's Day and she loved it. And I don't have it to show you, but please look on my Instagram to see how beautiful it turned out. Mina did a wonderful job designing that shawl, and it was very nicely written. Directions were very clear, and I'm going to try to insert a picture here so you can see it. But there's a knit along going on right now. The Knitting Expat on Ravelry, or she's Mina86, but her Ravelry group is the Knitting Expat, I believe. And she's teaming up with Nicole of Hugh Loco, so one of them is having chatter and the other one's having finished object posts for that. So yeah, definitely join that if you'd like. It's a beautiful, beautiful shawl. It really stinks that I can't show you, but yes. Okay, so I showed you Trailing Ivy. I started a new project, which I'll show you in a minute, but I wanted to show you my Waiting for Rain. I did not work on it because I decided that I'm going to be hacking it. Hack it, baby. Sylvia Bobilvia, I think I mentioned before, released this variation of her pattern a few weeks after the original pattern came out, and I had already knit quite a bit on it. And I'm obsessed with it. So I'm gonna rip mine out. I hope my hair's not banging the microphone. I'm going to rip mine out. This is what I have so far. And it is on, oh my gosh. What a mess I am. Okay. this is what I have. So this is a lovely yarn from the Wool Barn. Roses and Honey colorway. And then this is some crazy yarn I forgot the name of, but I'll talk more about it when I hack it. So I'm going to rip this out. Number one, I know I knit a bit on it, quite a bit, but I know that I'm going to really want the hacked version. And I don't want to keep knitting this and use all of this amazingly pretty yarn on something that I know I'm going to want to reknit. So this is not only a process knit for me, because I really, really love the process of knitting this. It's mostly garter stitch and short rows. And I love the knit stitch. I do not enjoy purling, so this is fantastic for me to just knit on both sides. And it's also a product, knit for me, because I am obsessed with the way this shawl looks. I really, really want it. So I'm gonna hack it, and this will be continued, to be continued. I will be continuing. To be continued. We'll go with that. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, so one person can only knit so many shawls, right? No, it's not possible. You can knit all the shawls you want. But I really wanted to knit a cardigan. I've been debating between the campside cardi and featherweight. I figured campside would be a little bit too warm for the summer months because it's supposed to have a DK weight, and featherweight is fingering. So I ordered, what time is it? I have to go get my little guy from preschool in a little while. I ordered a sweater's quantity of Madeline Tosh. Oh, you guys, I didn't show you my new dress. It's not handmade, but Lauren Conrad at Kohl's has a new Alice in Wonderland themed clothing line, and this has teacups and teapots all over it. Can you even handle that? Super cute, and it looks like a halter, but it's like crisscrossed in the back, so it's really not. Moving on. I ordered a sweater's quantity of Madeline Tosh Twist Light in the Opaline colorway, and I am obsessed. I don't think that the camera can pick up its gorgeousness, but I think mauve is my new favorite color. I'm enjoying mauve more than you can ever imagine lately. My eyes just attracted to it. Mauve and taupe and clay colors, I'm just really loving. So there's different shades of mauve, purple, pink, gray, taupe, a little bit of blue. It almost has an iridescent look to it. I'm keeping it right now in my Alex Collins drawstring bag, which is so beautifully made. And I know it's not going to fit pretty soon, but this is a perfect size for sock or shawl project. But once my featherweight gets really big, I'm not sure that there will be room. All right, so this is what I have. I'm knitting this on my Chagoo red lace twist interchangeables on a US size 5, which is 3.75 millimeters. Let me get this all straightened out for you. There we go. It's kind of hard to hold up, you guys. Okay, there we go. So I swatched, and my swatch was right on with the pattern recommendation before washing and blocking it. So after washing and blocking it, it did grow a little, so I went down a needle size from a 6 to a 5 US. And I really love the fabric. Let's see if I could bring this closer. There. So that's kind of like the shoulders. This is the back of the neck. And there's the other shoulder. So yeah, I'm really excited. This is, my father-in-law was like, what are you knitting? Because I was knitting yesterday and at their house. And I'm like, a sweater. And he's like, well, it looks like you got a long way to go. And I'm like, don't say that. Like, this is a lot of knitting. I was knitting on this for like 2 days straight. Every moment I can get. There's a lot of stitches here, you guys, right? You understand. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to have finally a garment that's not a shawl that I can wear. So this is my yarn all caked up. Cake. And what else do I have good in here? A little sample of lip drink because my lips get thirsty. My little row counter. And I'm using my Chai-Gu stitch markers for this one. And then I have Isabel of the Fluffy Fibers Podcast Beautiful Lavender Sachet in here. It smells lovely. And yeah, this is what the featherweight will look like for those of you who haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure most of you have. But I'm definitely going to bring the sleeves all the way down to just past my wrist. And I'm going to make it a little bit longer because I like longer cardigans on me. So yeah. Featherweight, yay. Some new stuff. I've been working on, I made some soap, some wool wash the other day. And I made a bar probably this long that you slice into little pieces. And it smells heavenly. However, it's not cut perfectly yet, but it was really fun to make. I think this is my new obsession. I think that not wool wash, but just making bar soap in general will be a really nice gift to give to people, especially around the holidays. Lanolin, which is one of the main ingredients in wool wash, which is what makes the wool nice and soft, is very soft. So it makes your bar soft. So you can only use it at a certain percentage of the total oils in your soap. And I used it like right in the middle of what they recommend. Or no, it was like the high end of what they recommended. And I can definitely feel a little bit of squishiness. Like if I push way down, it will definitely leave a print. So it's supposed to harden with time. You leave it in the mold for 24 hours covered with a towel so that it can saponify. And then you can unmold it as long as it's not too soft and cut it. And then you have to kind of leave it for 4 to 6 weeks to dry out so that all the waters evaporate from it. So I'm hoping it gets a little bit harder after this. And this will just be this kind of my test bar, so I won't be selling this one, but excuse me. If they turn out well, I'll test it first. These will be given to friends, knitting friends. So yeah, but it smells so good. I don't know what I'm going to name it. I don't know what it smells like yet. It's just really good. Okay, so I've been doing that. I've been going to pottery classes. And this is one of the mugs I made recently. And he had us, I like solid colors like this, but my instructor was like, why don't you jump out of your comfort zone and try a new technique where you dip it in 2 different colors and then splatter it with a different color glaze, and he had us test it. And I'm not crazy about the colors, but it was more learning how to make an even bowl more than anything, because it's hard to do. It takes a lot of practice. And then here's the other one. The next time I go, I think I'm going to try a teapot and see how that works out. Okay, I was talking about new stuff. I have knitting friends that are complete enablers in such a good way. Jilly, Vegan Jilly on Instagram and Knitting Broomsticks podcast talked me into buying this. She didn't talk me into it. She just said really nice things about this tea on her podcast, so I had to buy it. It's the Downton Abbey Mrs. Patmore's Pudding Tea. It's black tea with caramel and vanilla, and it does taste like pudding, dessert, something really good in a cup. I had it last night when I was knitting on my featherweight with just a little bit of milk in it, and it was so yummy. So I got this from the Republic of Tea, which is also where I picked up one of this sample pack, which I'll be giving away for the KAL. And then on Friday, my husband brought me to the yarn store. He didn't go in, but he did bring me there and told me to pick out a skein of yarn. So I picked out this Dragonfly Fibers skein, which is called Pixie. It's a superwash merino, 475 yards. Oh, it's the Pixie base, I'm sorry. And the colorway is flannel pajamas. So it's a little bit out of my comfort zone. I usually don't put so much black into my knitting, but I think it's really cool. I think it'll make nice socks because it is a superwash merino. I have more than enough, so we'll see. I thought it was really pretty. So it's a single ply. What else did I have to show you? Oh my goodness. Okay, so Sue Stokes of Legacy Knits podcast raved about this book, so I had to buy it. The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. Apparently it's amazing, so, you know, in my spare time when I'm not doing all this crafting, I shall read it. Andy of Andre Sue Knits has me wanting to embroider. Thank you, Andy. I ordered all kinds of supplies on Amazon yesterday. I already had hoops and, fabric and material to embroider on, and I had projects in mind, but I didn't know all the stitches. So I went ahead and I'm taking the Craftsy course, hand embroider it. Hand embroider it. Oh my goodness, that doesn't sound right. I'll link it in the show notes. So I'm taking that, and then I got the coolest gift for Mother's Day from my boys, which I'm going to show you in a second. But also something exciting is we have a yarn truck that travels around Buffalo and sells yarn. I mean, how cool is that? I have never personally seen this yarn truck because I live in the suburbs, but my cousin has shopped with this woman who owns it quite often and has said really good things. I have a customer who shops with her and loves her. And the woman who owns it very sweetly asked if I would be interested in putting my yarns on her truck to sell. She loves local artists and she heard really good things about my yarn, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I think it's super exciting to get my yarn out in the local community for knitters in Buffalo and surrounding areas. So, yay! That's so exciting. Okay, so there's that. I'll show you the gift in a second, but I do have 2 new colorways in the shop. This one is called One Sweet Day. And this one is called Hero. Is this ringing a bell? Mariah Carey songs. Was my idol growing up. Loved her music. I still love her music. Not the current stuff, but the love ballads that she used to sing. All my friends, they're like, whenever I hear Mariah Carey, I think of you, Shauna, because I was obsessed. I just loved every single song she made. Okay, I have to show you my awesome Mother's Day present. First of all, I love when my kids pick things out for me themselves, and I love when they make me things. I don't care what it is, a gumball, I don't care. If they picked it out, it melts my heart. So my husband had them pick a few things out for me, which was adorable. Evan picked out nail polishes for me, and it's just hilarious because one of them is like the brightest blue you can ever imagine, and then like a really light soft blue. So it just totally screamed him, and I knew that he picked it out. And then he picked out a pair of sandals for me, and Aiden picked out a really pretty necklace. So that was super sweet. And then they surprised me with this amazing gift, and I've talked about it so much, now I have to show you. Let's see. I have to move a bunch of stuff to get it over here. Almost ready. Wait for it. Yay, you guys, it doesn't even fit in the... Can you see me? Yay! I got the Ashford Traveler, you guys. I have no idea how to use it. None whatsoever. So, craftsy class, here I come. I have been wanting to spin on a wheel for a very long time. The fact that you can spin a larger quantity in a much shorter amount of time than a drop spindle appeals to me. And just the art of spinning in general, I've just really wanted to learn. So I've had this craftsy class. I purchased it a while ago, and watched, one or two segments or chapters, if you will, of it. But I'm like, why am I watching this right now? Let's wait till I have a wheel and I can follow along with the instructor. So they got me a wheel. And Jason put it together last night, which was hilarious because the cat kept trying to get him because he was on the floor doing it. So anything he picked up, the cat was trying to just play, And it came with some undyed roving. It's combed BFL. So I'll probably use this just to I don't know if I'm going to dye it or just use it to practice. I might as well dye it because if it turns out okay, I can use it, right? And then it came with a Nitty Noddy. It's one of the Kromsky ones, a 15-inch. And it's got a built-in Lazy Kate, and it's a nice size. Like if I ever wanted to go to some retreat, I don't know what retreat I would go to, but if I ever wanted to go to a retreat, it would fit in my van. So that's super nice. Okay, I've chatted for long enough. Thank you for hanging out with me today. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I was able to make the time to podcast today. I feel like I've been doing so much crafting, but now it looks like I didn't get much done. I've just been kind of monogamously knitting on my featherweight lately, so I've been wanting to get to my Cozy Memories blanket, and that hasn't happened. But it's okay. I feel like you should knit what you want to knit when you want to knit it, right? I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Like I said, check in with me on Instagram to find out about the shop update for the KAL yarns and project bags. And I'm really excited to start this one. I think it's really special and it's for a really, really good cause. So think of that special someone who might love a handmade knitted or crocheted gift, and let's make it for them. We'll see you next week, hopefully, about a week and a half usually. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.